So I went on the mission to find the best selfie stick so that I can get the angles that I wanted. And I thought to myself, I wish I could have a mix between a gimbal and a selfie stick. But I had no idea it was already here. This is the Zhiyun Smooth X. It's an affordable 2-axis gimbal with an extending selfie stick built in. Hello and welcome to Hexadecimo, the home of the nerd, with tech news, reviews and tips on how to get the most out of your tech. I'm Mo, and welcome. Today we're going to be reviewing the Zhiyun Smooth X gimbal. This comes in 2 flavors, one with a tripod and case, and one without a tripod. I've been spoiled by what I think is the best gimbal out there, which is a DJI RS2. However, as everyone says, the best camera is the one you have with you. Now, coming from a 3-axis gimbal, I was a bit apprehensive about moving to a 2-axis gimbal. I thought it's not going to be able to stabilize the phone very well. But for the price, I thought I might as well, especially that Amazon were running a £10 off deal at the time. So I managed to pick it up for £30. Effectively, it was £10 more with the tripod and case. One of the biggest differences this has over its competitors is the fact that it's tiny. It's really small. This is how it comes, fully gimbal. You can use it, you can fold it up and put it in your pocket. And I just lost the joystick. Great. Now that's one thing you need to be careful about. Joystick has a tendency to fly off easily. It can fold down to about the same size as the gimbal tripod. It's primarily made of plastic with some rubber features, such as the back of the arm, the back of the phone holding area, and the claw, giving you a nice soft, non-scratching surface to place your phone and giving it ample of grip. The claw locks into place, as does the motor head and the arm when you're done using it. So it's effectively locked into place and won't come out of place. Sometimes the motor lock does come out of place if you swing it around too much, but that's if you're holding it by the arm controller. But other than that, it seems pretty stable. And that really helps to make packing it away and transportation easier. The buttons got a nice click to them. And the joystick, I feel the joystick could have a little bit more push. It just feels very reminiscent of the PSP sticks, but with less reach. The power button is on the arm, as you can see here, and going towards the back of the gimbal, it's a very short distance, making this area vulnerable and prone to cracking. So if you're too aggressive with it, you can possibly crack the arm. But as long as you're gentle with your gear, it should be fine. But for me, it's something that I'm expecting to carry every day, and it's going to be thrown around a lot, and I'm going to assume it's going to have a short lifespan. I already cracked this one within a week of owning it. The biggest issue I had, which could be me just being petty, was the zoom slider. It's a little bit hard to slide up and down. It's not hard as in physically hard, but it can easily slip, so you don't really have a lot of control on it. The other thing is when you push it up, I'd feel that would be to go more telephoto to zoom in, but that's to go wide to zoom out. So the zoom slider, in my opinion, should have been the other way around. Now onto the claw. It's, as I said, it's got a rubberized claw, and it has this V-taper here. And what that V-taper does, it allows you to slide your phone in without the buttons being pressed, which is fantastic. I've had with my other gimbals where I've attached my phone to it, I always end up pushing the power button, and it turns off the screen. So this is really good that it has this V-taper in there, as you can see. Speaking of balance, it self-balances. Before you power it on, you put your phone in, you put it in roughly center, then you turn it on, and it takes about 15 seconds to put your phone in, fire it up and get going. The back of the arm has this gripping rubber, which I'm guessing will stop it from sliding around if you put it on your dashboard or on your table. I'd highly recommend you to spend the extra £10 in buying the combo pack, which it will come with the tripod and a carry case. And the cheapest tripod I could find was £9. So for that extra £1, you get the official tripod and a case which is a bargain. Now let's go on to the case for a minute. It's a semi-hard case, the type of case you'd expect from a handheld console such as a Nintendo Switch. A little case like this is fantastic. You can put all your gimbal stuff in there, your lenses. It's got two elastic straps, one for the tripod and one for the gimbal. Then you've got a mesh pocket. You can put your camera lenses, your accessories and all of those good things in there, as well as your charger cables and so on. It helps to keep the gimbal safe and easy to find inside of your bag if you chuck it in a bag like I do. Now, however, if you're using the case, you do lose that pocketability. You can't easily put it in your pocket, but as I said, you can just chuck it in your bag. The gimbal itself is small, easily fits in your pocket. You can have your tripod in one pocket and the gimbal in your other. So you don't really need the case, but it's there and it adds that extra durability. So the tripod is also made of plastic. It's got rubber feet, and as long as you put it on a relatively flat surface, it will balance and it will hold up nicely. You can extend it to get just the right height that you need and make those micro adjustments. Inside the case, you get a manual, service card, and the care guide for the case, as well as a USB-C charger cable. You do have to be careful when you're unfolding the arm. It might be worthwhile just to visually check that there are 2 notches and you fold away from the 2 notches. And that's just something you're gonna have to do when you first start using the gimbal. Once you get used to it, you do it without thinking and away you go. I've tried various ways to open it and see which way is the best. However, the best way that I did come up with is to make sure it's all locked. Now what you do is you just slightly pull away the head and you pull it out, and that's it. Once you've done it a few times, it becomes a breeze. On the front of the gimbal, there's a joystick and 2 buttons, and the joystick allows you to pan and rotate the camera on the 2 axes. On the side of the handle, you've got the zoom slider. Actually, do you know what? A rocker might have been better. It does use a digital zoom. The app has a smart shooting mode, which essentially is a series of pre-scripted videos, much like the DJI Smart Shots, but to use on your handheld gimbal. You also have the ability to shoot standard photos and videos, or you can even live stream to your favorite streaming platform. You can time-lapse, hyperlapse, or even do a 180-degree panoramic shot. The mode button allows you to switch between horizontal and vertical modes by double pressing. And if you triple press the record button, you can change between the rear-facing camera and the selfie camera. The main reason I bought this, and is likely the reason you are looking into it too, is not only the low price point, but it's effectively a smart selfie stick, allowing you to get more in your frame with the tight selfie cameras that come on the front of mobile phones. And it comes with the added bonus of being able to stabilize your footage. It's not going to be as good as a 3-axis gimbal, but if you're just walking and you're not doing anything over the top, it should give you nice stable footage. And that's all great points. The whole head and claw mechanism, as well as the motor, are on the top of the selfie stick, and while the handle controls and everything else is on the bottom of the selfie stick, allowing you to extend the camera out as much as you need without affecting its performance. The conclusion is the Zhiyun Smooth X is clearly aimed at the entry-level smartphone gimbal user. Maybe somebody who's just starting out with creating content. It works well to capture photos and videos for social media. I mean, I guess you can use it to get a higher angle as well. I bought mine for vlogging without having to get my camera out and all the gear that I need with that. And finally, you can use it for live streaming on the go. You can orient the camera depending on the preferred platform and go, whether it's vertical, whether it's for TikTok, Instagram and those sort of platforms, or horizontal for Twitch, for YouTube and so on. Setting up the live streaming can be a little bit complicated for someone who is just starting out, but if you ever live streamed before, you will likely know what the settings are and how to configure it. You can use it as a gimbal to capture your shots, but I found it hard to keep following fast moving targets. I highly recommend it as a beginner phone gimbal for you to start your journey or your gimbal journey on, and it's especially good for vlog type content, and I think that's the main audience is targeted at. It's good for doing stationary shots such as perhaps product B-roll, and that's about it. In general, I like it, and if you like it, I highly recommend you to get it. It's cheap, it can handle big phones, small phones, and yeah, it's fantastic. So links in the description below. So on that note, I'm Mo, this is Hexadecimo, and I'll see you next time.